So recently, I got my first master score on the Voltaic benchmarks season 5, and that was in Frogtagon, as you can see. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm the best Frogtagon player in the world. I barely made it, and I will link the run in the description. It was very Mickey Mouse. So in turn, this is a Diamond Mickey Mouse guide on how to get a Mickey Mouse Master in Frogtagon season 5. Now, I personally believe there are three things that you should focus on when trying to achieve any type of PB in Frogtagon. That is patience, pace, and pathing, the three Ps of Frogtagon. And obviously sprinkled in there are some clicking fundamentals. I'm not the best clicker uh, relative to everything else, I feel like. So, I mean, even my fundamentals are slightly lacking, but just to gloss over them real quick, it's things like not chasing and like not trying to rush too much, which goes into patience, and we'll get onto that now. So patience, the idea of patience is not going slow. It's being able, in my opinion, to not chase a target, not be so eager to move on to the next target, and obviously confirming your target. When you try to rush through to increase your pace, you often leave yourself at times to a wider margin of error. I personally just believe that you should let a target come to you in more situations than not, and just allow yourself a bit of time to actually just hit the target. There are a lot of times in Frogtagon where you will have like an intersection, which will come up in later clips, of targets. And within these intersection of targets, you'll find your ability to regain a bit of pace and overall not feel as inclined to rush through the scenario that you're currently going through. So secondly is pace. Pace does involve speed, but I like to think as pace in terms of these times here. So when you really start to actualize and start to think about how fast do I need to go? How many targets do I need to hit a second or whatever to achieve the time or achieve the score that I want? I have the numbers here, and it's not as much as you think. You don't have to be the Flash. You don't have to move your mouse like in every direction at like 10 centimeters, a bajillion DPI. No, at most, you need to click 2 targets a second to get master. And I mean, like mentioned before, you'll have intersections and you'll have times where you can get 3 or 4 targets a second. And it just comes with the nature of the scenario. But being able to actually just think about, hey, I need to hit 1.73 targets to get diamond. It's not a lot of targets. In my opinion at least. It's not as much as you think. It's not as daunting. You can take your time from moving from point A to point B. And that's where we will move on to pathing. I have a strange approach to pathing. I have a weird philosophy uh, that I showed my friends actually, and it was really hard to explain just through text. So I made a video for her, but I also showed her this diagram. If I'll bring it over here now, it's very, again, Mickey Mouse as is this video. But we'll just look here. We'll see that I've obviously labeled the targets in which direction they're going. The first box is what I like to call like the popcorn threshold. And if you play popcorn enough and you understand a bit of the theory behind popcorn, is that you really don't want to go for a target that isn't above an imaginary line or imaginary threshold. Now, I carried over the same idea to Frogtagon, and targets within these like imaginary boxes that I create uh, is what I'm going to move to. The idea behind this is that I want to minimize movements in between two axes, and and obviously that's impossible to obviously get no movement, but yeah, minimize the movement between two axes. So in the nature of the scenario, for example, we start from the bottom in this specific example, go here, we'll click, and this target moves over a bit to this blue box. And by the time you get to this blue box, this target's also entered this blue box. So you go 1 to 2 to 3, and that's the very basic idea. of what I believe got me master. I think I baked my table. Whoops. And then obviously you'd do it in the horizontal for this fourth target, because in this imaginary scenario, it's moving horizontal, for example. So yeah, those are the three P's to Frogtagon, and those are what I believe helps me the most in getting master. I do have some clips now that I will just chuck on, and I commentate over them. Yeah. All right, this is the 1070. I will just pick and choose like small little moments and just ideas from each clip. So we'll start with this one first. I want to highlight here. I hit, terrible movement. Obviously, you want a straight movement, but I start to go up and look for this target here. I then realize they've both already rebounded. So what do you do in this situation? Because if I have to chase this target, it goes here. I have to like eventually move my crosshair here, and then you're chasing targets. And chasing targets is usually where a lot of margin of error comes from. Sorry. So what do I do instead? I make the horizontal movement, because I see the rebound. I see the vision of where these targets want to go. So bam, 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 and I wait for it. And we'll keep going. Oh, hit. And I mean, it's a bit sloppy, to be honest, but if I hit that quicker, I get these targets way easier, but it's whatever. Okay, right here, chasing target, I waste 2 shots of ammo, and then again, 2 shots of ammo. It's just not good. I love this player so much. So yeah, I don't swap off immediately, and even there, like, what am I doing in both those situations? It's not great. I have to wait, but you want to wait for a target to come to you in linear. It's easier to let a car crash into you than for you to crash into a car. So, like, it's just like a simple-ish concept. I think it's like pretty known, but yeah, it's just something I like to think about pretty often when trying to play linear scenarios in general. So closing out this run, there wasn't really much else. It's a 1070. It's just a diamond score. Uh, yeah, there's a fair few errors there, but also the idea of the first point of movement with being very predictive with your pathing and seeing the horizontal movement and seeing whether these targets up here were going to go. I think that's a very strong takeaway from this first clip. So right here is the 1050. We'll just go through it a little bit. As you see, I am chasing a target again. I miss once. Honestly, what is the play here? We'll look at this. We miss once. Honestly, in a situation like this, I think there are the very minute and nuanced situations in which you want to chase a target. I do believe this is one of them, because if I hit the target, say, now, I didn't, unfortunately, I have a choice to go across and go up. I would, personally, if I hit it already here, I would go up, and then I would move left. And then wherever the other targets spawn, they spawn. Uh, so yeah, usually, of course, you don't want to chase the target. In this situation, however, when there's potential for a nice path, I believe as long as you make a decent movement in front of the target, because again, you want the target to usually come to you in these very like sticky situations. I personally believe there is merit to actually chasing and trying to continue hitting the same target. Now we'll see how this plays out a little bit after it. I have to swap. And actually, this I wasn't even the 1050. Okay, but honestly, honestly, that was good enough to put in. To be fair, my bad. Mickey Mouse video, obviously. So this is the 1050. I do apologize. Starts off not too bad. I miss a target, but I move on immediately. That's good. That's bad right there. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do this. Oh, but we do wait for it on the rebound. And we make this massive, massive horizontal movement. Wait for it. What else did it do? Not much. So there again, nuanced situation. Maybe should I just hit the target? Probably. I don't know. I mean, I've hit and missed what 4 times now. Missed and hit 4 times. It's just not a great sign of a good run. But anyway, we move on. We miss, we chase. This is 1050. This is diamond. Like, I do believe with good pathing, even with like the bad habit of chasing a target, if it's good or not to chase the target, it doesn't matter. I do think you can get the 1050, 1040, whatever. Right here is a very nice example of why it's not necessary to rush through Frogtagon. You do get these lucky spawns and intersections of targets. It's very nice. So yeah, like we'll skip forward a bit here. Right here, kind of rough. I hate this small targets, but look at this terrible commitment. I have this terrible commitment here, and I'm forced to reload. I waste. I don't even know how long the reload is, to be honest. A second. I could have moved up to these targets initially anyway, and I would have got a nice pathing like link between them all. It like wasn't that big of like a commitment to like move after the first hit. I wasn't stuck in a situation where I had to actually chase this target. But in the middle of a run, you kind of get locked in this idea of, I guess you'd have to hit this target here because you're so far away from the other ones. I'm wasting time, this and that. I gotta hit it. You don't. Again, because like before, the intersections exist. You will regain some pace. So if you're if you're targeting an isolated target, do not feel bad if you have to move off it because you missed the first shot. And yeah, just closing out the run. I mean, it's not a great run. It's obviously chopped up in the video, but it's just a 1050. Uh, honestly, the 1140 is coming up. I will let this play out in its entirety. You'll get to see a like Jade run of its peak. Here we go. Cool. No, here we go now. Nice. I remember I did restart a couple times. It's not bad to restart a couple times. You want your good spawns, your good first couple hits. It's not a big commitment. You wasted, what, 2 seconds? It's whatever. So we go through the horizontal movements there. It's nice letting the targets come to you. Again, a very big idea behind linear. Letting targets come to you. It's easier for them to hit you than it is for you to hit them. Chasing a little bit. At least they didn't miss. But I do like going against the grain. Yeah, sorry, a little jump cut there. I made a terrible analogy. So yes, going against the grain, I do think is a very strong idea within linear dynamic. I mean, popcorn exists. I do it a lot in popcorn. I do it a lot in floating heads, going against a target's movement. Again, I'm chasing targets here, and you can see the stutter in my movement. Obviously, you're going to have to at times, but I instantly swap off. I go against the grain. Just move against the grain. See, there it is again. Horizontal movements. I'm just trying to, like, again, keep my pathing philosophy as strong as possible. That's 1140. That's Jade. I just, yeah, I'm trying to, like, give you guys anything else, but this is a very Mickey Mouse video. I don't know what to say. I decided to do this because I was actually pretty depressed. I thought it was going to take 10 minutes, but this took like 2 hours, I think, 2 to 3 hours, and then I scrapped it all. I don't know how YouTubers do this shit, but yeah, I do hope you watch this on like 2 times speed or some shit, or just skimmed through the at least first bits. The VODs probably weren't even that important, to be fair. Like, I don't know. This is a Mickey Mouse video. This is a Mickey Mouse guide from a diamond who got a Frogtagon master. Thank you for watching, and I'm sorry if you watched this on 1 time speed.